Welcome, all of you who have joined us. Today is Sunday, January the 30th. Namaskar. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Very nice to be with you, all of you. We have something very special today. We have prepared for you a special edition of our Sunday meeting, Sunday service, Sunday prayer session, however you want to call that. So let's start. I think we have quite a few things to talk about, quite a few things to share with you, and the all the thing that we always do in our meetings. So I'm looking forward to having the presence of all the angels as we invite them, all the masters, and all of you. So let's have invocation from our messenger first of all. Can we have that, please? Display the the wordings of the I am the light of the heart, please.
Sir, we have an invocation, right?
Yeah, we have the video invocation. Yeah, I think yeah, we have a video invocation by Mother. I don't think we have any wording. Yeah, okay.
O thou Ancient of Days, bestir our hearts, quicken thy sacred fire within us, purge us of the not-self, intensify white fire, divine love, the power of the blue flame of beloved El Moria. Come forth, ascended masters, adepts of the East. Come forth, Lord of the world. Enter our hearts, transform us by the alchemy of the seventh ray. By thy sacred fire, penetrate, penetrate, penetrate unto the core of being. Satisfy our souls with the light of gladness. Let thy beauty descend as sparkling waterfall. Angel Devas, Elohim archangels, ascended masters, all life in God, come celebrate eternal life within our hearts. In the fullness of thy great cosmic mastery, O life, intensify our well-being. Nurture our souls. Purge us of fear, darkness, and unknowing. O Lord of life, thou who dwellest in our temple, speak to us of love. Speak to us of the divine understanding. Speak to us of our entering in to the oneness of eternal being. Holy Kumara's great central sun magnet, purify and dispel. Distill, O God, the essence of our true reality. Let the fire consume unreality. Let us know true being indeed. Therefore we affirm the seed of the Buddha within us, and the living God, the Atman. Therefore do we worship at this altar. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Divine Mother. In the name of the Lord of the world, and the lineage of Sanat Kumara, we gather to serve in thy name. I am that I am.
I'd like to welcome all of you who have joined. on behalf of the Chananda Culture Society. Okizi, welcome. Farrell, welcome. JP Saab, welcome. Rita ji, welcome. Pradeep ji, family, welcome. Satija ji, welcome. And Akash ji, welcome. So let's begin with our meditation. As always, we do that to center in our hearts. Before we start our session, we always have a meditation. So this one is a meditation on the heart. It is about 9 minutes long. It's very beautiful. We call it Saint Germain meditation, and we'll be chanting this mantra. It's called self-cleansing also. Guru Ma calls it self-cleansing of the chakras. So I am the light of the heart. That one, Jay, maybe we can display that wording of that one, and then we can play that meditation from the messenger.
Beloved mighty I Am presence from the heart of God in the great central sun. O thou great spirit of selflessness in the heart of God in the great central sun, show us our souls now in thy great cosmic mirror of selflessness. Reveal to us then that which must disappear and be removed from us by the ruby ray angels. Draw around that image now the perfect design by the hand of the great artist of our divine reality. Now as we see the divine image as a line drawing superimposed upon our image in that cosmic mirror, we make our vow to divine love, to stand with love, to be in love, to know love, to embody love, to teach love, to express love, to expand love, to exalt love, to invoke love, to raise up love. To be all love, to all life appearing. Therefore, O God, hear us now in the I Am the Light of the Heart mantra. In this self-clearance now, we call with fervor to the Lords of the Seven Rays and the Holy Spirit to come unto you now for this great deliverance of all burdens on the physical heart, in the four lower bodies, and in the chakra. Please turn to the I Am the Light of the Heart mantra. This is a self-clearance, for as you affirm the light of the heart shining in the darkness, It consumes as the all-consuming sacred fire of the I Am that I Am. Moses said, our God is a consuming fire. This consuming fire of God that is where we are is the fire of the ruby ray, burning and consuming all and every force of anti-love. In the name of Saint Germain, by the authority of the full manifestation of his causal body and purple fiery heart superimposed upon our heart, we say, I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being, and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world, to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being, and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world, to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all of the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world to erase all errors and break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. O God, we vow to Thee this heart to be the cup of love, to be the sacred heart, the immaculate heart. Purify our hearts, O God. Purify our hearts, O God. O crystal rays from the hearts of the 7 Chohans, as Thou didst charge the crystals, now so charge these hearts of living flame. Charge us with Thy crystal light. 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 Charge us with thy crystal light.
I'd like to welcome some of you who have joined us. Parvinder ji, welcome. Very nice to have you with us. Pooja Tuli ji, welcome. Pooja Nikhale ji, welcome. Nirav ji, welcome. Satija ji, welcome. Let's see if I have anyone else on my screen. I think I see everyone. I acknowledge everyone. So I just wanted to say a couple of words about this meditation. You might be thinking, because you have to listen to this meditation quite a few times and kind of before you can absorb it. What is the ruby light? So what she was saying was she talked about the love, everything about love. So that is one thing about, because we know what is the definition of love. So we always want to think about the heart chakra when you talk about love, because that is where we have the threefold flame of love, wisdom, and power. That is very true. But also the love is the center point of all the chakras. There are three chakras above the heart. There are three chakras below the heart. So the heart chakra is the hub chakra, so to speak. What she was saying was ruby ray. Visualize ruby ray going from I am the light of the heart. When we're saying that, so it's a self clearance. What is a self clearance means? She said, as we affirm this mantra, each word of the mantra, I am the light of the heart mantra, and we are really, when we affirm that each word in that mantra, we are affirming, we are charging each word with a ruby fire. Ruby is more intense pink. It's not a red. It's a more intense pink color. That, and you might have seen the ruby flowers, so you can visualize ruby rose or ruby fire or ruby light, like when you can visualize, you can see my heart, around my heart, you can visualize light is projecting. I'm the light of the heart shining in the darkness of being. So you are sending the ruby light from your heart into each condition, each place within yourself and without, outside also. She says our God is a consuming fire. That comes from the Moses. When Moses went to the mountain and he got the 10 commandments, and the way it is recorded in the Bible, that it was a bush that was the voice came from the bush, and the bush is really the threefold flame is called they did not put the word threefold flame in the Bible. They put the word bush there in the Bible. So our God is a consuming fire, means everything comes from the heart. Heart is a fire of the heart, ruby fire of the heart. You can put it that way. So I think that is a very beautiful meditation. You can look at the tone of her voice. It was not very, very, very loud. It was very deep. So you can do, when you do this mantra, you can do it many, many ways. But when you're doing it in such a way as a meditation of the cleansing of the heart, as self-cleansing of the heart, you can do it with that kind of softness in your voice, softness in your tone. And you can ask the master. She asked the 7 Chauhans to overshadow you. You can have your I am presence overshadow you. You can ask any master, Krishna or any master, to overshadow you because they all have the I am presence. Invite the masters. This is the main thing. Sometimes we think God sees everything, God knows everything. I don't have to invite, because that's the way we have been taught. It's not so, because we have a free will, and masters do not interfere in our free will, including when we ask them to overshadow us. Help us. Helping is fine, but when you overshadow me in this meditation, any master you can invite that you feel like. So you can invite Saint Germain, you can invite Saint Germain himself. This is this is a mantra given by Saint Germain. So I invite Saint Germain into my meditation. Help me, Saint Germain, overshadow me, do this meditation through me, and then you do this one. So it's a self-clearance. Self-clearance also means how much concentration, how much attention, how much devotion we put into that, we get the results of that. Like it's as simple as that. So try that. I hope you can practice that in in your own home, in your puja place. It's a decree 0.07, 0.07, I think, a decree in your decree book. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about, and we were listening to a discourse from a Sunday master, Lanello. Lanello was is the name of the Mark Prophet, was the founder of Summit Lighthouse in 1958. So I was amazed as I was putting this piece of paper that I sent to you, Poonam has sent to you, and that I'll be going over that in a minute on the screen. How many embodiments he has and how many religions, different religions embodiment he has, in his short embodiments that we have listed. I think 13 or 14 of them that I was looking at them. I said, my God, he's a. So Jay, can we have that, please? That little paper of embodiments of a Sunday Master Lanello. This is his picture. One thing about a Sunday Master Lanello as a Mark Prophet, he walked and talked with many of, not me, but he made his transition or ascension in 1973. So it was not too long ago, and there are many members in our organization who actually walked and talked with him, who shook his hand. And so he's very personal, in many ways. We call him ever present Guru. So I'm going to read some of his, I don't miss anything. So I would like to read everything that I put together. So we get a little bit more glimpse about him, because we want to know him as he is. By the more we know about his personality, the more we know about his light, the more we become receptive to his light when we do his decrees. He has, he's a founder of Summit Lighthouse. His name is in every preamble. Let's put it that way. So he's really there in every decree that we do in that way. So he's anchoring his light. He has a stakeholder with our victory in light, the victory of the Ascended Master teaching becoming a household word all over the world. So here is something. Let's read it together. First paragraph. The Ascended Master Lanello was recently embodied on earth as the 20th century mystic and messenger for the masters Mark L. Prophet. So that was his name, as Mark L. Prophet when he was. So some of us, you might be thinking, why did he change his name? Who changed his name? So this is a very good question to ponder upon. When we take our embodiment, the first embodiment I'm talking about, the name was whispered in our ear by God. That is a name that we retain throughout our many embodiments. On the inner, the name. So sometimes the inner name we have on the outer, sometimes we don't. So in this case of, I'm talking about Mark Prophet, his name was Mark Prophet in this life. But his name was whispered, was in the very first embodiment, was Lanello. Lanello there's a keys of each letter of the word Lanello is his keys to his total being. The same thing applies to you, to me, so we have a mystical name, inner name we call it, and we have an outer name that the world knows us about. So when we make our ascension, we could be using our name that we have outer, if our mystical name is the same as in the outer name, we retain that name. Otherwise, we will be known as by the inner name when we become Ascended Masters. Okay, I'm going to continue. Second line. In this and many previous embodiments, he and his twin flame, the messenger Elizabeth Clay Prophet, have served the great white brotherhood and sought to set for the true teachings. True teachings. You might be saying, well, they're false teaching. We talked about that yesterday. There are many true teachings and they're false teaching, and they are another kind of teaching. They are mixed teachings. And they are also, mixed teaching is really, you know, why people mix something, with two things, So they are not true teachings. So even mixed teachings are impure teachings, you can call them. They are not true teachings. So these are the true teachings I consider, and masters have, and Saint Germain, as many other masters I have heard say, that these are the highest teaching on the planet Earth. Highest means in terms of the purity. You have to believe that to really, to know that, you have to believe that. But I think the more we walk on the path of a Sunday Master's teaching, the more we believe that this is really highest teaching, because there's so much out there in the world. There are many, many false gurus, and we talked about yesterday. There are also many, many false chelas. Every false guru has a false chelas. Simple as that. Okay, next paragraph. Thousands of years ago, when the Bodhisattva Sanat Kumara came from Venus to keep the flame of life on earth, Lanello and his twin flame and other light evolutions of the planets of the solar system were among the sons and daughters of God who accompanied him. The history of Lanello's mission is the story of a soul seized with a passion, that is the love of God. The story of Sant Kumara, we have talked about that. So Sant Kumara is also called Kartikeya. He has many other names, that we know him. So we came, 144,000 came with him. He came from Venus when the earth was at her darkest point in light. And Mark and Elizabeth, prophet, they came along with Sanat Kumara, along with 144,000. And that is why maybe many Sunday masters were part of 144,000. They have become a Sunday masters. Many of us are still here, and we are becoming on the path of fulfilling our mission also. Here are some of his embodiments. Number one, Master of Invocation on Atlantis. On Atlantis, nearly 11,006 years ago, he was a priest of the sacred fire and master of invocation in the temple of Logos, where Atlantis was at that time was a place where souls evolved. Now there is Atlantic Ocean, so that is covered by water, and because of the great flood of Noah, we talk about that in a minute. Number two, ruler in the Incan civilization. Lanello was embodied as a ruler of the Inca civilization. They were the descendants from Atlantis who took that name from Inkal. Inkal was another name of God that they called is son of God. Sun God, S-U-N, sun God. Number three, Noah. Did you know that he was a Noah who was asked to build a boat? At the time before the flood came at that time over Atlantis. Number three, Noah, as the prophet Noah, he received the prophecy of the flood and exhorted the people for over 100 years. So he was telling people the flood is coming, the flood is coming, do something, and people thought he was crazy. He was just, he was not saying something that make any sense. Anyway, number four, Lot, L-O-T. He lived in the 20th century BC. Lot was who, I looked at it, these teachings, you can find from TSL Encyclopedia. Lot was the nephew of Abraham. Abraham by two names, they were the embodiment of El-Moria. So he was a nephew of El-Moria in that embodiment known as Lot. Well, El-Moria was embodied as Ibrahim in that particular embodiment. Number five, Akhenaten. 3,300 years ago, as the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten, he overthrew the tradition of idolatry, challenged the false priesthood, and established a monotheism based on worship of Aten, god of the sun. During his reign, Egypt enjoyed a golden age of art, poetry, and music. So he was a pharaoh in that particular embodiment in Egypt. So that is okay. Next one, number six, Aesop. He was a Greek slave in the 6th century BC who won his freedom as a master of the Arctic stories and fables though he was murdered by the town people, he sought to serve. So that is another embodiment. Number 7, Mark the evangelist. He was he wrote the account of the work of Jesus. He was later martyred. Jesus had 12 disciples. So he was one of the disciple of Jesus, known as Mark the evangelist. Number 8, Origen of Alexandria. He returned to the 2nd century to the city he had known as Saint Mark, previous embodiment, and was one of the most distinguished theologians of the early church, setting forth the true teaching of Jesus Christ on reincarnation and the heavenly hierarchy. Number 9, Lancelot. In the days of Arthur the King, the soul of Lanello came from France as Lancelot de Lac. Number 10, Bodhidharma. He was the founder of the Zen school of Chinese and Japanese Buddhism. Born a Brahman around AD 440 in southern India, he converted to Buddhism and traveled to China to spread the teachings of the Buddha. So you can see here he comes as a Buddha. Then number 11, Clovis. He established the French monarchy in the 6th century. I think Clovis was a king, as far as I remember. Next one, Jay, number 12. Saladin, the great Muslim leader of 12th century, he conquered and united all of the Mohammedan world. So he comes in Islam also. Bonaventure, he lived in as Saint Bonaventure, 1221 to 1274, a theologian and Franciscan mystic. Number 14, Louis XIV. He was Louis XIV, King of France from 1643 to 1715, who was known as Le Roi Soleil, the Sun King. Number 15, Longfellow. As Henry Wordsworth Longfellow, 1807 to 1882, he became the most popular of American poets of the 19th century. Number 16, Alexis, son of the Tsar. At the dawn of the 20th century, Lanello embodied in Russia as Alexis, the son of Tsar and heir to the Romanov throne. As you know, that was 1919, the Russian Revolution. The Tsar was killed, and so was his family. So he was also killed along with his family and his father and mother and everyone else by the communist revolution when it came. Number 17, Mark L. Prophet. As the 20th century master Mark L. Prophet, he was born in Wisconsin, USA in 1918. When a boy of about 18, while working on the Sioux Line Railroad, he was contacted by the Ascended Master Almoria, calling him to his mission. I will talk about that a little bit in a minute. Number 18, Ascended Master Lanello. On February 26, 1973, Mark passed on and his soul ascended to the plane of the I Am Presence to carry on his work with the Ascended Master and to make contact with their unascended chelas. That is us. As the Ascended Master Lanello, he continues to direct the activities of the Summit Lighthouse. His retreat, Lanello's retreat at Bingen on the Rhine River in Germany, he serves on the first ray, which is a blue ray, a will of God, with Lanello, with the El Moria. He has worked with K17, which is another name, code name for another master, for many hundreds of years and continues to work with him from the ascended octave. He is called the ever-present Guru because he is always appearing and talking to his chelas. Now, this is very important. Please remember him. You can always write your letters. You can always talk to him. You can call to him. He has said that you can call to me anytime for anything. I think we talked about yesterday. But the question yesterday, how do we ask our master, for anything that we need or any proof? He's another master. His name is Lanello. We can talk to him. You can write him letters about any personal problems, personal issues, and burn those letters, and then he will answer definitely because he's called the ever-present Guru. I got this information from TSL Encyclopedia. The link is there. You can go to that link and you can find much more information about each of his embodiment that I have listed there. I want to talk, we can remove it, Jay. I want to talk about something that has always intrigued me. It has always brought some kind of understanding that how Sunday masters respect our free will. You can see his embodiments, 14 embodiments that we talked about, and he was quite an adept in some of the embodiments, or emperor, or he was was Noah, and as a cousin of Almoria, and all those things that as a Mark the evangelist with Jesus and all that. So he had quite a bit of attainment. So do you. So do everyone. All of us have attainment. But this is the part that I wanted to share with you that really has touched my heart. How Master respect our free will. When he was working, I think as I read, when he was working in the railroad in this as a Mark Prophet in he was born in 1918, and he was 18 years old, I think, when Almoria appeared to him. He was working on a in a railroad, how the railroad track, how they put those tracks on the and they check them, before the train comes and all the screws are in place. They do that in India very often. I'm sure they do that in every country. When he was working, he says that when he raised the hammer like that up over his head, he was to strike the hammer. In that split second, Almoria appeared to him. And Almoria said, I have a need of a messenger. I'm looking for a messenger. My name is Almoria. And he appeared to him and he asked him that he was looking for a messenger. Well, he was born in America. He was born in Wisconsin, in the state of Wisconsin. And Almoria appeared to him with a turban and as an Indian, guru, as an Indian person, So he did not recognize him. He did not recognize, because although he had many embodiments in the past, he had a lot of spiritual attainment, because this is what is this common denominator that we can understand. Although we may have many embodiments, but sometimes because whatever reason, because we are on the physical plane, the density of the earth, density of the energy around us, then whatever reason that we have, he said, he told Almoria, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. And I think he was a believer in, I don't know what religion, but I'm Christianity, but I'm not sure what sect, was it baptism or what part of Christianity was connected to that. Now he said, please go away. I'm not interested in that. And you know what Almoria said? Almoria, as you wish, my son. So this is the point, as you wish, my son. Almoria did not tell him, that I know you, you're my cousin, I know you from previous embodiment, or you are this and you are that, and you are, Almoria did not utter a word to him about anything. As you wish, my son, were the words of Almoria. And he went away. So Master respect our free will also, but at the same time, he had a test to pass. He had a free will, so Master honored his free will, but he had a test to pass that. So he said he went home and then he thought, it took him few years. He thought about that. And then he said, oh my God, that was. So after a while, the memories started coming back. He meditated on it and he begged Almoria. He said, please come back. Please appear to me again. I'm ready for, whatever you want me to do. And Almoria reappeared after a few years, I think. It's not few months, but a few years later, Almoria appeared. So sometimes cosmic moments, cosmic opportunities come like that. And we had to, whatever reason. So Almoria, but my point was that masters respect our free will. That's what I said. That's what when Guru Mam was doing, and that in that self-clearance, he said, invite, 7 Chauhans, invite the masters, invite your high self, invite so and so. And Durga talked about that. Krishna talked about that. When they give a dictation, they said, invite me to your temple. Shiva said, invite me to your temple. Durga said, invite me, I will, and I promise you, I will not leave you as I found you. What she was saying was that when a God comes into your temple, there is going to be cleansing. There's going to be changes in and a lot of good things happen. That's what That's what happens when you invite the master, a Sunday master, God, whatever. But you have to invite them as a free will, and they respect the free will. So, okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. I like to mention, I like to welcome Inder Monji, Dr. Ranjiji, Mohini ji, and I think everyone else I have already welcome. Corley, welcome. Corley ji, welcome. Chika ji, welcome from Nigeria, and let's see, Farrell ji, welcome. So we're going to be listening to a discourse in a minute, but I wanted us to actually sing a song to a Sunday master Lanello, Mark Prophet. When you sing a song, this music of the song has its keynote. Keynote is like the bija mantra, like a seed music, seed music, seed energy that attracts, that magnetizes the Sunday master to us. You know that about bija mantra of Kali Ma, Durga Ma, Saraswati Ma. We have different bija mantras for different deities, even Ganesh and Krishna and everyone else, that we know of. So this is bija, it is along the same line, bija music, and it's called the green sleeves. You might have heard that, green sleeves is you can go to the internet, YouTube, and you can type the green sleeves music, and you will hear that same music. So Jay, can we have that Lanello song? Is about 7 minutes long. It's called Lanello's Excelsior song. About 7 minutes long. It's a video, by the way. You'll enjoy that very much. You might be you might be thinking, what is the come of the home, the mother, the one, there is only the mother is the we call the body temple the mother, physical body called the mother, the spiritual component we call the father. The spiritual part is called the alpha and omega, we call it alpha as a father. The material, the matter part, the tai chi part, other part is called the mother, matter, alpha and omega. So I think in this physical universe, we know the God as father. In the spiritual realm, people do that. But all the yogis, what they have done, they have become they have magnetized the presence of father in the body temple. This mother father balance is the two sides of the same coin, you can say that. Balance of one side father, spiritual part, one side the mother. So when we have that, because of the threefold flame that is in our heart, that we have, that is the presence of the father and mother in our in our heart chakra, in our body. So we what is up to us is really how we enhance, how we increase the size of the threefold flame as sons and daughters of God. As we increase the size of the threefold flame, which is the pink, blue, and yellow plumes, three plumes, we have the more consciousness of son and daughter of God, more awareness of who we really are. So the come to the home of the mother, the one has many meanings. It means that God is everywhere in the nature, in the universe, but also in our every cell, atom, electron, molecule, part of our physical body, emotional body, mental body, and etheric body. We have 4 bodies and we have 3 other higher bodies. So 7 bodies, we all become one. So that is in the mother is a how you say that, uh, without the mother, father is incomplete. Shiva said, my Shakti is my, I think if the my Shakti is in my Parvati and Kali or Durga Ma. So in the physical plane, the Shakti or the power is given to the the counterpart of the spiritual part, which is a spiritual part of God, which is in this case Shiva says, the power resides in my complement, my divine complement, my other half, so to speak. So is with Brahma, so is with Vishnu, so is with all of us. So the more mother light we have in us, the more love we have, more wisdom we have, more power we have, because of the three-fold flame is balanced in our heart. And that is the key of the Ascended Masters becoming one with their consciousness. All the Ascended Masters, they adore Mother. I give example of I think was one of the example I comes to my mind is, I remember Messenger Guruma was saying one time, who is the greatest devotee of the mother on this earth? Who is the greatest devotee of the mother light? And the answer was Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha is a father light. He holds the light of the father. He has the greatest light of the father. So the greatest light of the father means the one who has the greatest light, one who embodies the greatest light of the father, has to, reason criteria for that is he also has to hold the greatest light reverence for the mother, incarnation of the light of the mother. So Buddha adores mother, mother adores Buddha. Buddha means father. By the way, the light of the father is we call it Buddhic light, father. So Buddha and mother are the two sides of the same coin that we are all striving to become. Father as a masculine and mother as a feminine light, and that is a balance that we seek. That was Gautama Buddha said, we need a balance in life, and that is a one way. Ascended Master teaching tell us that not too extreme, not too this way, not too that way, not too yin, not too yang, just balance right in the middle. And that is a middle way of life that we talk about that Ascended Master talk about. How do we find a middle way of life individually? There is no formula for that. We have to, through our attunement, through our lessons, sometimes we learn. But I think the most important thing that I found that we have is Ascended Master's teaching, We have their decrees, they have their mantras, we have their bhajans, we have their songs, we have the many, so ocean of reservoir that was not available to the previous generation. Like before 1958, before Summit Lighthouse was founded, these teachings were not available. We have the I am movement before that, we have a Bridge to Freedom before that, we have other movement. But coming up, the Summit Lighthouse brought us so many things so close to us. Sometimes we do not know that. Sometimes we know that, but we don't take it to heart or whatever, because our karma comes in our way, other priorities of life. I got to do this, I got to do that. And so all those, we master call them as a test. We have to pass through those tests, first things first, so to speak. Anyway, we're going to be listening to a dictation pretty soon, but before we do that, there's a 2-minute long Mark Prophet's voice. He's chanting a very beautiful mantra. It's called Om Namo Narayan. I would like to have his vibration. I would like to hear his, as he's chanting that 2-minute or less than 2-minute long mantra, I think, before you go to his dictation. Okay, Jay, can you play that one, please? I think it's audio. Yeah, thank you. Jay, it's not, not that one. Yes, audio mantra. Yeah, thank you. It's on the YouTube. I think it's both this song that we just heard.
There's a problem with the browser, so I'm getting issue loading the. Just give me a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you. I will let me know when you are when you are ready. About I will introduce about his dictation that we'll be hearing pretty soon after this mantra. It's called the. It was given in 1992. It's called the Newly Born in the Arms of Your God Parents. This is the title of that house dictation that we'll be hearing. Okay, ready.
Perhaps we might try that mantram that we haven't tried for a while, the Indian mantram, Om Namo Narayanaya. Now, anybody who's read the Mu books, all the Mu books, will probably be familiar with the Narayanaya, understand what it really means. Why don't we have a little striking of the chords? And we'll do it in perfect rhythm. Now start out first, I'm going to do it for you. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. Now you try it together and see if you can do it. Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Om Namo Narayanaya. Some of you may be able to feel that.
I just wanted us to have his vibration with us, his presence with us. We're going to be listening now to the video discourse or video dictation, we call it. It was given in the 1992. Of the New Year, I think it was yes, on New Year 1992. I want to give you some highlights, and we'll come back and we'll also talk about. But I wanted to give you a foretaste of what his love is from his opening statement, opening words. He says, Come, O souls. So inviting us, come, O souls. Come and be rocked in the arms of the Divine Mother. I, Lanello, speak to each soul. He's talking to each one of you personally. And I take you back to the moment of the soul's perfection, before before the soul was marred or lost or in any way soiled by the consciousness of mortality. So this is going to pick. Actually, this is a cosmic inner experience that he's going to take us back and continue. Yes, beloved, know your soul as newly born in this moment. In this moment, when you are hearing this song, when you are hearing this message, in this moment, in the arms of the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. I'm going to read that again. Yes, beloved, know your soul as newly born in this moment in the arms of the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. So this is a moment of newly born us of soul. Each one of us is as Almoria rocks, as Lanello rocks us in his arm as Divine Father, as a Divine Mother, through this experience of through dictation that we're listening to. Thus I show you yourself in this holy innocence, that you might understand that it is indeed possible to return to that state of holy innocence. So I just wanted to just give you a taste of that, and then he's going to talk about something like a dweller on the threshold. The human mind, what happened, how our garments got soiled by that energy of the wrong choices that we made being on the earth. So it's going to be experience that that I would like to pray to him as you will listen to his dictation, receive his light, and it's also something very cosmic interchange. He's very close to us, as we said, he's ever-present Guru. He is a founder of the Summit Lighthouse. He has a lot. He's a stakeholder with us. He is one of the 144,000. He and his twin flame, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, and we are part of the 144,000 family. Please know that Ascended Masters are the part of the 144,000 family that we came with Sanat Kumar a long time ago. So having said that, it's about 25 minutes long. So Jay, without further ado, let's have that dictation, please.
Come, O souls, come and be rocked in the arms of the Divine Mother. I, Lanello, speak to each soul, and I take you back to the moment of the soul's perfection, before the soul was marred or lost, or in any way soiled by the consciousness of mortality. Yes, beloved, know your soul as newly born in this moment, in the arms of the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. Thus, I show you yourself in this holy innocence, that you might understand that it is indeed possible to return to that state of holy innocence. The scarring of this world cannot be permanent unless you decree it by the misuse of the light of your I Am presence. Scars of the world may become deeper as wounds in the soul by your daily reinforcement and revolving of those happenings unfortunate. Now see how the soul is wrapped in the swaddling garment of light and of violet flame. Look at your soul and see how the gentle caressing of the violet flame is a healing unguent. See how your godparents are tending to your wounds daily. See how you break them open again by lamenting the unfortunate occurrences instead of glorifying God, praising God and affirming your wholeness in the beginning, your wholeness in the ending. What is all of this in between, beloved? It is the descent into Maya, and it shall be consumed as you place the preponderance of your being, I mean the weight of your being, the great weight of your causal body and higher consciousness in the perfection of who you are right now. Yes, right now, beloved. Right now is the beginning and the ending. And if you see yourself in between, that is the danger zone of consciousness. Go not there. You are either on one side of the precipice or the other. And if you must cross it by taking the mighty rope of the Lord Krishna and swinging from one side to the next. Do not dangle precipitously over the canyon, beloved, but be upon the rock in consciousness, in mind, in will, in daily footprint on the path of life. So many, many footprints in the earth. I follow those of the pilgrims who with each step are willing to climb the jagged rocks, even to be wounded in order to attain the next level of God consciousness. For that individual knows that to be wounded, yet to arrive at the prize, is to know that with the prize awaits the healer and the healing of all that has passed. O beloved, make your way through life as a conqueror. Master the body and become the Lord within that body instead of a body with a consciousness diffused, fuzzy, not pinpointed. This is the meaning of youngness of the spirit, centered in the seed of light. I am Lanello. I am so near to you because I have walked with you. I have sired children who are among you, and some who are not. I have been with you in many lifetimes, and I have borne my burden of karma indeed. But I have kept to the heart of the Divine Mother, and the Divine Mother in the person of Mary has been with me unto my victory. Now I do not leave you. I dote over you and upon you. I am with you, beloved, but it is of no use or avail if you will not clear your vision. Look into the mirror of self and stop seeing the portrayal of failure, but see the original soul perfect in God. Yes, beloved, will the mind, do not indulge it in those areas that take you too far from the center pole of being. Do not be so extended out and distended in consciousness that you are fair game for any little half-pint demon that desires to unhorse you and does. Blessed hearts, my beloved has given you the key, and if you do not take it, I fear lest you do not obtain the prize. It is absolutely true that you cannot get past a body that is out of alignment, out of balance, and not a receptacle for the divine light of Alpha and Omega. Change must come. You have worked very, very hard in mantras and in service and in giving of self, yet you retain conditions of consciousness that work against you, that are antithetical to the living Christ in you. Know this, beloved. Know it well. To transcend yourself, you must truly understand the law of self-transcendence. You must truly come into the awareness that foods that contain the proper balance of light are needed to maintain the light in every cell. Look at the evolution of the planet, from density unto the present, from those who had not the fire to those who now do. Fire is the heat, the purifier, and that which breaks down and releases the life of the food when properly cooked. Seek fire, beloved, for you shall soon become fire in the allness of its manifestation. One day you shall look in the mirror and see your aura as a flaming flame that will not be quenched, as though you were an angel of God, the flames of God easily passing through you, and every cell dancing the dance of Shiva. I am in that heart of light that is in you, and I myself have walked this earth in ignorance even of the laws that my beloved has given to you. Know this then, that many spiritual seekers are not receiving the prize of that which they could contain in their bodies simply because their diets are not what they need to be. Seek then adeptship. It is one thing to have devotion, and a great thing, beloved. Devotion is God in you, in manifestation. When you have that devotion, do not stop. Become the devotee that is adept. By the admixture of wisdom, wise dominion of self with devotion. This is an age of the great circle of being and the circle of life. There is no need to attain God consciousness by one path alone. Master the path and the foundation. Give it to your children. They learn so easily and with such facility, for they know no limitation. Then take the next and the next. Take all the roads until you become a rainbow in your aura. And may I identify with any devotee on the path, whatever the source and goal of his worship. I am above all amidst my children, and I ask you, as you love my heart, as you know I love yours, to make the same call that the Lord Krishna asked of you. In this case, I ask you to make the call for the binding of the dweller on the threshold and the false consciousness of all those who misperceive us and this community and all the true communities of light in the world, that there might be a clearing of the minds of those who are so prejudiced against another way that is different from theirs. For the clearing of the misstatements regarding communities in the press and anywhere. For you are one with these devotees in other churches at inner levels. But in the outer, beloved, their progress is truly stopped, for the law decrees it. For when they bring the judgment upon you in false accusation and in the misqualification of the light of God, their karma returns unto them the very same, and they are bound by their own momentums of judgment, and therefore by the very presence of the light bearers in the earth, they do fail their tests. I know that it is not your desire to be a stone of stumbling for those who are the devotees of Mary in world Catholicism, and yet you are that very stone of stumbling. You are that very stone that does move against them and cause them to fail their tests. Just when they think they move forward into the heart of the Blessed Virgin, so they must go back, for they have denied the Christ in one of the least of these, my brethren. Thus, it is necessary for the testings of the Divine Mother to be delivered through anyone, anywhere, and everywhere. You are also tested, beloved. See to it that as you expand the circle of your being and your aura increases by the sacred fire breath and the raised up mother flame, that you become sensitive to others, that you see through their densities and the outer layers of the world and recognize a light bearer when you see one. Do not judge after the old judgments of how they dress or how they speak or how they are educated. All of this is outer trapping. Look to the soul, beloved, and before you decide that someone is not worth the effort of the preaching, remember first that Jesus descended into hell to preach to the fallen ones and has called you to do the same this Thanksgiving past, and you shall do it, for you are his disciples. But also remember, beloved, before you even do make a judgment about any life stream, that unless that one is tied to a great guru and knows how to make the call, usually that one is in the certain grip of the dweller on the threshold, depending on his own human negative momentums. Therefore, pray, pray, pray without ceasing for the binding of the not-self and of illusion and of that dweller, that you might behold what is the precious jewel and the flower of God that has been brought to you. Yet do not be deceived nor mocked by the fallen ones who pretend to be chelas. Children of God, open your eyes. Open your eyes, I say, and pray above all to the Holy Spirit for discernment of spirits and Christ's discrimination. For many of you are yet much too sympathetic and are drawn in again and again by these schemes of those who enter your midst only to use communities to their own ends and their own financial gain. Be not moved, beloved. Take counsel with God in your heart and lift yourself up to that holy mountain where the vision of heaven is clear, and you can walk down from that mountain with a clear mind and heart, and know the way in which you should go. If you have been assailed by indecision, self-pity, and self-justification, and a syrupy sympathy in this life and others, I say, recognize it as a yin condition in the body and the mind, the mental body and the astral body being also toxic. Recognize it as a condition where you have not had the fierceness of Durga to raise up that sacred fire and therefore be a pillar of oneness where you are. Yes, beloved, some things must change, and I have brought those to your attention that I believe are most worthy of your consideration. You have the power of God delivered at this conference by hierarchs of light to defeat the most serious labor that has come upon this earth in recent times. Therefore, do you not also have the power of God to defeat those things which attempt to enclose this community, to build a wall of hatred around it without any doors? Yes, beloved, let the walls come tumbling down, and let the heat and the pressure of your love in the Lord Krishna be so intense as to melt the hardness of heart of all those who call themselves enemies and yet who one day themselves might be those who embrace Lord Krishna. I say, bind the force of the anti-Krishna within them and see what flower comes forth. Then know them by their fruits, by their blossoms, and by their fragrance. I seal you, and I seal this conference in the heart of the Divine Mother, for Lord Krishna has already sealed you in the heart of God. I am surely with you always.
I'd like to make a prayer for on behalf of all of us before we go into the question and answer, to seal this energy so we can retain it. Almighty God, in the name of the I am that I am, in the name of Om Tat Sat Om, beloved Lanello, beloved Guruma, we are so grateful for your presence, for giving us this guidance, this light of telling us our beginning in the arms of God, and in the end, when we finish this cycle of birth and rebirth in the arms of God, and all that in between, we don't pay attention to that cave of that human energy, that maya, that karma, that density, so we do not look at it, and we keep our attention on I am that I am, on our threefold flame. And as we receive the light from our I am presence, beloved Lanello, please help us, everyone who is part of this group and who will be listening to this discourse on YouTube, on Facebook, this point forward. Please guide them to your heart, to their heart, through your heart to their heart, so they may really feel the presence, who they really are in the light, in the beginning and in the ending of this karmic cycle. We are so grateful for this light on energy, this illumination on the binding of our dweller on the threshold that has soiled our garment, or by misusing our energy in wrong places, making karma. We ask you, as we give that dweller call, that you help us, help with every Sunday Master, beloved Lord Krishna, beloved Durga Ma, beloved Guru Ma, beloved every Sunday Master who is part of 144,000 and mandala of light. So we may all together have received the prize, Prize, prize of the becoming a son and daughter of God, as we were in the beginning, so we shall be in the ending. All this to the glory of God. Beloved Archangel Michael, seal these energies that has been given to us, so that they can never be misqualified by anything this point forward, by anything of human or darkness in ourselves, by putting our attention on anything that is less than the light of Almighty God. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you in the name of our Guru, Sanat Kumara, beloved Kartikeya. Om. Amen. So I'm looking at the watch. We have a lot of time still. Let me see. I like to, we have someone with us. I like to, Martha is with us. Martha was also with Mark Prophet. As she was a little child, she walked and talked with also Martha. And I like you to, Martha, please share with me next 5 minutes or so your thoughts about this dictation, or any thoughts about Mark Prophet, anything about that you can help us. Martha is from Washington, D.C., by the way. So I know her. I'm from Washington, D.C. also. So we are kind of on the chelas on this together, that we in the India Sunday Master teaching here in Washington, D.C. group. So Martha, all yours, my friend.
सर का मुझे नाम नहीं दिख रहा.
मैंने कर दिया मोटो जी पावर.
Okay.
Can you hear Martha?
So she has not unmuted herself.
Let me see if let's wait.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can, Martha. All yours, please. You have unmuted yourself again, Martha. You have muted yourself again. I'm sorry. Yeah, please unmute yourself. Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me
Good.
now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So, what did I have to share of what I heard of this dictation? It's good to hear it. I haven't heard it for a long time. I'm not sure if I even if this was one that I've ever heard of any of his dictations. I guess the thing for me, because I feel pretty close to the mother flame anyway, is that we learn to trust in her and to put our belief and hope in the Divine Mother. Now he talks pretty much about Krishna, and I know Krishna has, as it has been taught, that if it helps, Krishna helps heal our child wounds, and I think Mother has given a teaching on that. And because no matter where we are, we probably have experienced a lot of wounds in our childhood, maybe in past embodiments and so forth. And these things carry within our soul reading in each and every embodiment. And they can manifest some kind of way in our personal lives. It can also stop us from accomplishing things that we want to accomplish. And it also can be a momentum that in later life, with many people out there, that it can cause us to have great illness, psychological or otherwise. And so being on the path and listening to Lanello, it helps us to understand these conditions and states that we as souls on a walking a path, human beings, how we can learn to deal with these issues in ourselves and how we can learn to attune to them, as Lanello said, to be able to have the discernment to see and to attune a soul to another soul that we meet on a path. And I know sometimes once we begin to do that, then we can let go of our criticisms of other people, criticism of ourselves. And I think one of the worst things that we have is self-criticism, because we don't think that we're worthy. And I think in that dictation, we have to think in terms of our immortality instead of mortality, which in the world today, that's all it is. That's all we see is mortality instead of immortality. So it helps us to raise our consciousness. And this is what Lanello is saying, that I feel, to raise our consciousness to the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother is also wisdom. And so we pray for wisdom. We pray for understanding, even if we don't understand at that time. We just said, God, give me the understanding that I need to understand what is happening. And you will see that you will get that understanding. And I think this is one of the things that Lanello is saying in this dictation, is that training the will of the mind. Now that's easier said than done, believe you me. But as we continue to walk the path, it may not be overnight, but as we continue to walk the path, you will see that you will become more mindful of your actions. And it's probably going to be a natural effect. You probably won't even realize it. But as you see yourself, you see others and realize that nobody is different from you and what you go through. The circumstances may be different, but everybody goes through it. But once we learn as we walk this path, we have more compassion for others and we have more compassion for ourselves. And I think that's another thing as well, is we have to call upon the forgiveness. That's very important too. That is something that we call for every day. I try to do that every single day, no matter what it is. I may not even know um, what circumstance the situation could have been. I could have hurt somebody a long time ago, somebody that I didn't know. and much more so the people that I do, because we want to be considerate of other people. We do want to walk a path of consideration for other people because we don't know how that soul is hurting. So all of this plays into all of that as far as I see it. And it all begins with us, who we are individually, as we come and we learn and as we're walking a path. And we can start that today. You can start as soon as you put your first step in a dictation, in a group, and whatever it is. You can start that today, no matter what, be it your family members, be it your friends, be it your relatives, be it whoever it is. And to embrace that, your own inner child. Krishna helps us do that if we surrender to him. He helps us do that. He helps us heal that child, those little schisms, those things that have not been healed for a very, very long time. And so Lanello and Guru Ma are here to help us do that, as they are the messengers. They are the guide. And so they're helping us and teaching us and guiding us to learn to surrender ourselves to our own higher being, to learn to love our own higher being, to even come back into the womb, the cosmic womb of the mother. I actually experienced that personally. And believe me, it was quite an experience. So we can all develop that sense of being in the arms, as Lanello said, of your divine parents. Because really, our parents, our physical parents, is really supposed to be that image of our divine parents. And they have their faults. Many of them have their faults. But that's what father and mother is. And so we learn as we come on the path, on this particular path, we learn to come up higher than where we were before. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much. Thank you so much, Martha. We do appreciate all on behalf of everyone. I'm saying that. So everything you said is beautiful. Wisdom of Divine Mother, understanding is Divine Mother. So very well. Thank you so much. We do appreciate that. Yeah, it makes sense more than it makes more than sense. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I'd like to let's say we have any other question. Poonam, all yours.
Okay, sir. नीरव जी, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है?
हाँ जी, नमो नारायण. I am very happy, sir. I hear the divine mantra of Namo Narayana, and this is the and sometime I share the story how I find the those mantra. But today I am very happy. Today is a Krishna consciousness. Krishna is a divine master of multi-universe and multiplex energy. And one of the best Krishna's message is Vasundevam Kutumbhava. The whole universe is my family. So thank you, sir. Thank you, divine session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very kindly for your thoughts, you sharing your feelings about the mantra. I wasn't thinking of that when I was selecting when I selected the matrix for this service today. But you are so true when you said that. It rings a bell in my heart also. What you said there. Thank you.
JP sir, आपका क्वेश्चन है?
How to make difference between flattery and real appreciation?
Very good question. Very discernment. You remember you talked about 3 Ds yesterday: discernment, discrimination, and determination. 3-fold flame. This is about the discernment, which is wisdom, which is the wisdom yellow plume, which is the divine mother, which is understanding. So the answer that is really, and it's a very good question, by the way. All these questions are very practical. How do you know that somebody is flattering you? And even I looked at, I was looking at Guruma when I was with her. Some people would say, "I love you, I love you, mother, I love you, mother, I love you, mother." So how I was thinking when what was going through her heart when people say, "I love you." The, the "I love you" is a good statement, but it's only incomplete statement. It could be flattery because when you say "I love you," you have to prove it by action. That's the teaching of the masters. Through charity. You have to, otherwise it could be love you, could be some money, you could be saying that. So I think what I learned by watching her, when people say "I love you," she probably was thinking, same thing. That if you really love me, just Jesus said, "If you love me, feed my sheep, help others, and tell me about others through your actions." But she did not say that. She never said that because it could hurt people, it could hurt new chelas, could have hurt me probably. I was brand new at that time, She did not say that. I said, I love you many times. And she looked at me, she smiled at me. So I think sometimes people will say that flattery or appreciation. And that, in your heart, JP Saab, in your heart that where are they coming from? But you hold their image for them, immaculate concept, that they will grow into that statement and then come out of that, go beyond it, prove it love by action, do something more than that, feed my sheep kind of thing, go, do something more than that. But we all have that thing. We all have that. As Lanello talked about, we have the soil garments, we do not know. We mean well, but we do. Then people, if you tell someone, people say, you don't, I'm just coming from my, when I say I love you, it's coming from my heart. You don't, you are, rejecting me. You do not trust me. So we have in me, in you as a receiver, or as a, that energy, we have to have more compassion, which is Martha talked about, understanding of Divine Mother and wisdom of Divine Mother, which is a yellow plume, which is a discernment. So I think more we become, I say, wiser. Threefold flame decree 20.03, balance the threefold flame in me, that I think we talked about yesterday. That decree is a key decree. That decree will increase the size of our threefold flame, all three plumes, including yellow plume, and also it will balance them. It will start spinning, and we will be able to see that when people say that, understand that, and then we give them back the immaculate concept, that they will like they understand that it's not, you have to give more than that, they have to grow in love also. So ruby fire of love. So I think it's a mutual test on, not on the person who flatters you or who praises you generally, but it's on myself. If someone praises me or flatters me or compliments me, I just take that energy and I say glory to God within myself. So I won't get big in my mind that I'm someone special. So those are the tests that we go through, all of us. Because we are one family. That's what the teaching is about. Whoever says that or whoever receives it, we are part of that family. We're helping each other. We're helping ourselves. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank
kind
you.
of this way.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do you have any question, Corley? Or Sigran?
Do
you have any question, Sigran?
I think Sigran or Corley, I don't know, it's about Sigran, I think.
Yeah.
Any question, Sigran? I think she has muted herself. I think. Can we unmute her?
सर मैंने कर दिया है, मैं फिर से कर देती हूँ.
Yeah.
मैंने कर दिया है, sir.
Okay. And anything on your heart, Sigran, please?
परविंदर जी, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है?
नो मैम, सत श्री अकाल सर जी।
Sat Sri Akal, both. I'm very happy to have you. We miss you. You know, I'm so happy that you came, that you are today with us. And please continue to be able. I'll give you a call. We'll talk more about it.
आई विल कॉल यू सर, मैं कॉल करता।
ठीक है, thank you again.
रनी जी, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है?
Hello, Rane ji, can you hear?
रनी जी, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है?
I think she's also has maybe she has walked away from.
तो सर हो गया अभी।
Okay, everyone has done, huh?
एक मिनट, आकाश पोपली जी का मैसेज।
आकाश या
आकाश जी का मैसेज है, एक मिनट। आकाश जी, आपको अनम्यूट कर दिया मैंने।
Hi, sir.
हाँ जी, हेलो आकाश जी।
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question. Perhaps maybe we have touched upon this personally as well in our conversation. So when people who are close to us, who we value, we call them as our role models, but we value them. When such people, they in their interactions, they become, I would say, they become violent, or they become abusive, or they cross their boundaries, they breach their boundaries. In my experience, this leads to either completely disconnecting with them, or having reciprocating the similar kind of response, which is actually not okay, because that takes away my mental peace. But my concern is that by doing this, I personally feel that a person starts getting isolated, because I think everybody on the planet, not everybody, but most of the people, including family members and close ones, they keep breaching boundaries here and there. So I have seen some people are very diplomatic, and they also revert back without raising the voice, but they kind of revert back in the same tone, in the same frequency. But I just wanted to hear from you, what is the master's way of dealing with this for the benefit of everybody? So is my question clear?
Yeah, it is very clear. Yeah, I think let me rephrase it, if I along the same lines. What is the master's teaching on when someone talks to us in a unkind manner, and how do we reciprocate that, and is that the question, right?
Also, how do we kind of takes a middle path, or I mean, we don't want to lose them. We don't want to lose everybody like this, because there are most of the people are in the similar category. I'm not excluding myself also. Yeah. So that was something which I feel challenged, because if I completely disconnect, that's a different thing. But if I talk to them in the same tone, that also disturbs me and them, and our relationship. So what would be the master's way? I would like to hear from you.
I will tell you how I have handled in my own life this kind of situation, because we all go through similar situation. Not exactly, but as Martha was saying, different circumstances, but the energy that behind it always is a similar or same kind of energy. It's a very difficult test, because to master that, how do you really I have failed many times when I have in that kind of situation. I want to say that. So it's a process of learning from the failures also. That I could have done better. Maybe I should not have said that word. I should have not used that kind of tone, or I should have kept silent, or I should have, all those things. So we all learn. I think one of the things that I was when I was listening, when you were talking about the Mark Prophet's different embodiments, and he also one of the reason why we are given different embodiments, is that he was given different embodiments, that because we made some mistakes in one embodiment and we are given another opportunity and in different life and different people and same kind of energy, sometimes the energy dealing with them. So God gives us many opportunities because we masters know that we are learning, we make karma sometimes knowingly or unknowingly by using wrong word and wrong place. How I have handled it is this way. As I said before, I am doing much better, by the way, as I used to before. And the energy, I think decrease have helped me. The reading of masters, their words of wisdom, going to encyclopedia, TSL encyclopedia, and searching about different masters' life, different Chauhan's life, how they were, how they handle, who they were, or any saint's life. If you feel like any saint, Indian saints, how how about their lives in general, not they handling the situation, their lives in general, or doing some meditation or decrease or bhajans or singing or they all help us to cleanse our emotional body. Everything comes from the emotional body, solar plexus chakra. You have a decrease on the solar plexus chakra 0.02 a 0. And you have a peace be still and know, and that 0.2 a 0.2 b, and those are the two decreases from the Elohim of peace. You can call, and this is something I want to share with everyone. I never believed in Jesus all my life when I was growing up in India, and even in the teachings, I kind of not really reaching out to Jesus. Jesus is the master. He's called Prince of Peace. Prince of Peace, Jesus. When it started dawning upon me that Jaspal, why Jesus has try to read his embodiment, Jaspal. I read some of his embodiments. I read what he has done and what he's doing to the Summit Lighthouse. And in almost every decree, preamble, his name is there. He wrote the call, Brother on the Threshold, 20.09. He gave that call to 20.07 to a judgment call. He has given, or he's keep giving himself. By that I mean this. He is keep giving himself for help. I would say this to you because I have done that, and he has held my hand, and he is leading me in terms of as a master, that I walk and talk with him. I walk and talk with Jesus. I never did like this before. This is something that you want to try that. Accept Jesus in the way you never accepted, as your brother, as your teacher, as your friend, as your guide, as your guardian, as your whatever role that you want, before, behind, you always. And there are many, as decrees, don't you have decrees, or many to him. You say, Jesus, I cannot do it, my friend. You help me. I have cried to him. I have tears. I cannot do it. I know my imperfections. I cannot change other people. You know that. You believe that. We have to change myself, and I'm trying my hard, but each time I fall short. So this is my key of what is helping me, is helping me. Is helping me. It was my mistake that I did not invited him earlier. So I think I want to tell everyone, we had a Christian myth in India that Jesus is a Christian and we cannot accept him, if we don't, as an ambassador, are not Christian or Hindu or Buddhist or Muslim or anything. They're beyond that. They're spiritual beings, they're friends. So I had my own barrier in my own mind that Lanello talked about, that I soiled my garments, made me dirty, made me feel bad. I fell into that, the valley of that karma. So I think that's my answer I can give. Just try that.
Thank you so much, sir. I think when I also read about Jesus a little time back, and I watched this movie, Jesus of Nazareth and Passion of Christ, a couple of times. My experience about Jesus is the amount of closeness that I feel. I'm not trying to boast about it, but I personally feel that I'm more of a Christian than some of the people. I just look around in their habits and practices, because I feel so connected with what he has spoken. It's not about religion; it's just about what he speaks, what he believes in, and what he teaches, and to live through that deep amount of compassion. almost unbearable. I cannot bear that amount of love that he carries. Like my body starts vibrating. He's so compassionate, and thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. I just my couple of words is that you have it. Now you just tell him your problem that you're telling, he shared with me, and even more in detail. Jesus, I am sick and tired of this whole thing about, and I cannot help. And you are the one. You've been through that. I know you can help me, and I am just coming to your doorstep, and I will not leave you until you leave your feet or leave your hand or leave your door or go from your home, in my heart, which is unless you take man. Then I'll give you my decrees. Give him. He will say, okay, if you love me, give me my decrees. So give 20.09. Give all the decrees. See his name in preamble. Look at all the decree. We have a decree book. Look, see his name in every preamble and give that decree to him. I said, Jesus, okay. That's my answer.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. And so I guess we are covered, Poonam, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I guess I've sealed these energies already. Krishna has sealed it. Lanello has sealed it. So I think I am. Next Saturday we're going to continue our strategy of light and darkness. We have covered through, I think, 1 through 9. I think we have covered, and I'm going to make a new chart from 10 onwards until another maybe how many we can do, and we'll Saturday and Sunday I do not know what dictation, what discourse we'll have, but it will be something exciting again that be connected with the what we're going to talk about on Saturday. So I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Martha also for being with us, and thank I guess all of you for your. But please keep doing your decrees that we are doing for this, as many or as few as the time allows you, and please log in your hours, on the WhatsApp, So that's all so I'll thank you very much. God bless you all. Have a wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, and I'll see you next Saturday. Please feel free to call me. Any one of you like to talk to me, you can always call me. You have my phone number, WhatsApp. You can send me a message on my email, or you can send me a message on the WhatsApp, So Poonam is there, Jays is there, I am here, all three of us, however we can help you. God bless you. See you next Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sat Sri Akal
Thank you,
ji.
sir.
Gratitude,
Thank you.
gratitude,
For the
gratitude.
reflection
Thank
of
you.
divine
Thank
Thank you,
light.
sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Jai Sri